Managing 45,000 lines of code in a game project is a lot harder than it looks, especially when you have vast amounts of interactions between characters and items, and between the items themselves. Hello and welcome back. I'm Matthew, and this is the second episode of my devlog about a restaurant tycoon management game. I would like to begin by thanking all those who watched and liked my first devlog and those who wishlisted Matame on Steam. I know it's been a long while since the last devlog, and that's because I was finishing my software engineering degree. I was doing my final studies internship and I was writing a thesis about the progress of that internship. I admit, it was fun to work on, but it slowed down the progress on the game. Anyways, now that I'm back, I'm ready to talk about the progress that was made during this period. I was also able to get a new computer, which helped immensely with the Unity's huge compile times. To keep this video from becoming too long, I will not be mentioning all of the features that I added. I will talk about these features gradually in future devlogs. If you guys like these types of devlogs, please like, as it helps a lot with the algorithm. And if you have any suggestions, please drop them in the comments. Let's first touch on the new wall building system, which is one of the most basic aspects of building a restaurant and being able to customize it to your liking. For this system, instead of refactoring the old code, I entirely deleted it and remade another one from scratch. The old wall building system treated each wall as an individual object, which means you had to place walls one by one, like it was a piece of furniture or appliance. This understandably gets very annoying, as you would be placing many walls and rotating them individually. As I did not bother to set up its tiling initially, the old wall building system did not tile perfectly and had very visible seams in the transition between walls. This looked very ugly and very easy to notice. It also lacked the ability to place paint textures on the walls and was limited to a small set of different colors. This goes against the main objective of the game, which is being able to customize your restaurant to your liking. The new wall building system aims to fix all of these issues. I want it to feel like a very smooth experience to the player, so I got to work. I started out by making wall parts in Blender. I made the main wall mesh and then each adjacent part depending on the situation. Afterwards, I worked on the beefy part, the algorithm. I developed an algorithm that makes use of these parts as follows. The player needs to click for the first time to choose a point on the grid, and then would click again to choose a second point on the grid. The algorithm starts out by tracing the shortest path between the 2 points on the grid, then takes the center of each couple of points as the wall center, and finally spawns the wall prefab in that position. Depending on the 2 points defining the wall, it would choose the right rotation. Now we generate the meshes adjacent to the main wall mesh. So we're going to go through each wall point sitting between two walls and give it the appropriate mesh that links them. A 3-wall formation requires this shape, and a 4-wall formation requires this shape, and so on. For the wall paint, I assigned each wall face an ID based on its normal direction. This made it much easier to assign a different material to each wall part with no issue. For now, I made only 2 wall paint textures, a plain white and this office looking blue and yellow. We'll add more with each update. The wall system works pretty well for now. It is much better than the old one, and it is also extensible in case I get more ideas to improve upon it in the future. By the way, I created a page for Matame on Steam. If you are a fan of restaurant tycoon games, please don't hesitate to add it to your wishlists. It also helps immensely on launch day, as Steam pushes visibility for games with a good amount of wishlists. Another thing that I'm particularly happy about is the staff scheduling system. This system allows the player to manage the working time for a particular member of staff. This is because staff members use up energy when they are walking around the restaurant, and even more when they are performing tasks. When staff members, aka chefs and waiters, are very tired, the quality and the speed of their work drops significantly. They also become very slow in their movement. To prevent this, the player should choose when a staff should be working or when they should be resting, because through resting they gain their energy back. You can also give them energy drinks, but their availability is limited, and you can only get them from the same shop as the ingredients. You can now also check which tasks a chef or waiter does by checking it from the staff UI. This works well with the staff area work system, where the player defines a working area for each staff by assigning accessible tiles as green and non-accessible tiles as red. To achieve the best amount of gold revenue possible, each staff member should have their paths, tasks, and work time optimized to the fullest extent, since each member of staff gets paid a certain amount of gold during their work time. The UI for this is pretty straightforward. You get a checkbox that determines whether a person is working on a given day or not, and you're given a double slider which determines the time frame in which they can work. You can also set the time in which the restaurant is open or closed for customers through this slider. When the restaurant closes, customers can no longer enter, but staff can work on whatever they need to work on. For future updates, I'm thinking of adding a way to have multiple shifts during the same day, instead of just one or not working at all. Do you guys think that this is an important feature? Let me know in the comments what you think about it. So I've had a day and night cycle for a while now. You can see the environment lights change color throughout the day, and I'm pretty satisfied with how it looks. However, it did not have any real effects on the gameplay itself. I already had this lamp made from like 2018, but it was classified in the game only as a decorative element. What I did was turn this decoration prop into a lighting appliance. So what I did was I created a new type of appliance for lighting and converted that lamp from decoration to lighting. These lighting components contribute to the lighting score of each tile on the grid. Some have a stronger lighting intensity, while others have longer reach. This system could use some improvements, because the lighting fall-off is always linear on a spherical shape, while most lighting is actually on a cone, especially for lamps. Might improve upon this in the future, but for now it works well. During nighttime, characters need at least a lighting score of 0.5 on a grid node to use its appliances. If, for example, a table is located at a dimly lit grid node, customers will not be able to access it and sit there. I made a little icon appear to indicate the lack of lighting. Also, waiters will not be able to serve the table. As a side note, I would like to ask for your opinions regarding this lighting effect, which consists of a semi-transparent box that is less transparent the more lit up the grid node is. Should this be on or off by default? Staff now have secondary skills to complement their primary ones. You can improve these skills just like the main ones, but the difference is that secondary skills don't increase the salary of the staff member. They are also XP cheaper and go to 3 stars maximum instead of 5. Some secondary skills are shared between chefs and waiters, like having more energy and better resilience to getting tired. Others are exclusive to each type of staff. Customers will now leave reviews for the players to see. This will help you identify the weak points of your restaurant to improve upon them. You can access the reviews menu from the top right upper bar. The customer review has 7 judgment points, and you're supposed to take care of each point individually, as reviews determine the rating of your restaurant, which in turn helps its reputation. You can also now change the prices of the plates through the plates menu. Your prices can go higher the higher rated your restaurant is. It can also go higher when you have a good plate quality and fancier decoration. The caveat with this is that the customer seated in a fancier area in the restaurant and served a good plate quality will be more satisfied with the pricing than a customer who unluckily got served a bad plate and sat in a less decorated area. This gives the player the option to go for the risky move and raise the prices as high as possible, but potentially at the expense of the restaurant's rating, or play it safe and go for more modest pricing until the restaurant's rating is high enough. I could confidently say that most of the big features are ready for the final release, barring a couple. There's still the weather system that needs to be implemented. I also need to redo the file saving system because the old one still fails quite a lot. I will also be adding another game mode, but I will talk about that in future devlogs. Minor features are also planned along with new plates and beverages. If you have any suggestions that you think would be cool to add, please let me know in comments. Even though progress slowed down a little bit because of my end of studies thesis, I have not stopped working on this game. I was generally having a lot of fun going through the task sheet and adding features here and there. And in this video, I went through most of the features that were implemented during that period. That is going to be it for this devlog. I'm hoping you guys liked it, and as for future devlogs, I'm planning to make them a little bit more frequently since I finished university and I have a bit free time on my hands. So drop a subscribe to not miss them. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you on the next one.